Hello everyone. Uh, in today's video lesson, we'll learn about operating system. So this is a subject given for final year computer science student as an elective. So it is entirely different from our programming languages, which we have learned from the first year onwards for the degree. That is, it is purely a theory subject. So apart from that, operating system is a word which we learn from the first year onwards. So we know something. We know something what is an operating system. So what is the something what we know is operating system is like we have learned it is Windows, it is Unix, iOS, Android. So what does the operating system will do? So this is the question. So I am taking this subject to explain you all the services and all the types of operating systems to be known to all of us, because as being a computer science student, we have to be aware of what the operating system will do for us. So let us start today's class from the definition. That means I want to start from the scratch of the operating system, and we'll continue with the remaining topics. Okay, so imagine if you buy a desktop. So what you will be buying, you will be getting it from that. So you will be getting a screen, that means a monitor, your keyboard, CPU, and mouse. Will it work without any software? We don't know. But we need a software which helps to run our computer. That part, or what I call here is the software, is an operating system. So the shop people will tell you the operating system will cost this much. So we need to be in a position to understand what is the need of operating system for our computer. Right? So let us go into the class. So operating system concepts is today's class. So today I want to tell you different elements. What is an operating system? That is nothing but the definition of an operating system. Computer system components, computing environments, different types of computing environments, because we all know what are the different types of computing environments, because our computer is everywhere today. Today we are learning our regular academics also through computer. So it has to work in many fields. Like it will be working. The computer we can see at from a small grocery store to a bigger scientific application. Anywhere. So we can call our computer is a super machine which is helping the human being to work everywhere, right? So here we will be learning in this video lesson, we will be learning what are the different types of computing environments and what are the important functions of operating system. So what do our computer system will do for us? I mean, the operating system will do for us. So let's get into that. So here the definition is an operating system is a program that acts as an interface between the user and the computer hardware and controls the execution of all kinds of programs. So here comes a question, and I want to clear one thing. So it is again a software, as I have told you previously. It is again a software. So what is the meaning of software? In first year only, we'll be learning the word called hardware as well as software. What is the hardware? Hardware is the thing which we can touch. So the physical component whichever belongs to our machine, we call it as a hardware component. So what is the software? As our computer cannot work on its own, we have to instruct our computer. So the set of instructions makes a program, set of programs makes a software. So again, an operating system is a software. So here the same thing I'm telling here in the definition. An operating system is a program. So that means it's again a set of instructions which acts as an interface. Interface is nothing but the mediator between, which tells us between the user and the computer hardware. So what are the hardwares? What are the hardwares? Just now I have discussed. Your keyboard will be your hardware. Your input output devices. Keyboard comes into your input output device. Printer. Different hardware components connected to your device, computing device, right? And controls the execution of all kinds of programs. Because if one program, our operating system means, our computer means, our computer does not work only for one execution like our calculator. What do we do in our calculator? We'll give one calculation. After that finishes, we'll go with another calculation. But whereas in our computing device, we can perform multiple actions at a time, right? We can do multiple actions at a time so that we can have a multi-programming. So that is an advantage of our computing device. So who has to take care of all these things? We said that computer cannot work on its own. So somebody has to instruct that. So the operating system takes the action. I mean, it controls, it handles the responsibility that all the resources must be coordinated and they must be cooperative so that every program must execute on its own without any interruption. So it works as a mediator so that everything will be done properly. So an operating system acts as an interface. That means it's an interface between user are nothing but we, user and the computer hardware. That means the different resources connected to our machine, and it also controls the execution of all kinds of programs, which is nothing but, as I've called here, multi-programming, right? Next, we'll see an abstract view of system components, different types of components. So here you can see in this picture, the first picture is first user, user 2, user 3, and user n. N number of users are connected to different files of my program, I mean my computer. So user 1 is working with compiler, user 2 is working with assembler, text editor, and so these many user programs are running. So here you can see system and application program. Hope you all have learned this word in the first year itself. Here I'll tell you the basic difference. System programs and application programs, both are different. This we also call it as system software and application software. As we have talked that a software is nothing but a set of instructions. So why do we write the instructions? To tell the computer that please do this. So these kind of instructions are divided into two, that is system software as well as application software. The system software tells what the computer has to do. Okay, so that means it helps to monitor the computer activities. That means it works behind our computer, that means inside our computer, so that it controls, as I have spoke just now, it tells our computer that you please use this resource, or you please wait for this resource, or do this or do this. So system software helps to run our computer, whereas an application program or an application software is like our banking software or some educational software which works only for particular application, right? Either for bank application or reservation of tickets or for education purpose or any of the particular purpose we use an application software. That is the difference. So here I have different softwares connected to me. That is system application, system programs as well as application programs. Everything I have grouped here. So from my computer, I am using these many user interaction programs. So these many applications are running. Here I have databases also, text editor, assembler, and computer. So this is interface. That means, so you can see here, I have a hardware, I have a program. So in between these two, application programs and computer hardware, I have a new component called operating system. So what is the responsibility of operating system is, it has to manage the things. So it has to tell, yes, this is your turn. You can go and use your CPU. Yes, this is your turn. You can use your printer. So it is controlling the actions between the users, as well as that means by making use of application programs or system programs and through the hardware components, which are nothing but the computer hardware. So the operating system is responsible for managing all these things. Right? He is responsible. That means this operating system, a software, is responsible for handling all the actions. Right? In the next topics, we'll discuss what are the actions it has to perform. Okay. So let's see. So what are the computer system components regarding our previous picture? So hardware is nothing but which provides basic computing resources like CPU. CPU is nothing but central processing unit, memory, both primary and secondary memory, hardware devices, as I have discussed, keyboard, printer, mouse, joystick, everything comes over here. So hardware comes with all the basic computing resources. We require keyboard to type anything, mouse, printer. So these are all the common devices which we connect to our computer. So we call it as hardware, computer hardware. So the other thing is operating system, the immediate part of the previous picture. So which controls and coordinates the use of hardware. The responsibility of the operating system is to control and coordinate. Coordinate means, yes, this process is executing. So please wait. It tells to other process to wait for some time. Right? So it controls and coordinates the use of the hardware among the various application programs for the various users. Right? So it helps various people. I mean, it helps to control the things which is happening in our machine. So application programs. Application programs. What is an application program? As I have discussed, it can be any kind of program which is purely, I mean, it is which is given for a particular application. That means a compiler. Suppose if we have a Turbo C compiler, what will it do? It is only working with C and C++ programmer. There is Oracle. You have learned your DBMS. So Oracle is your database system. So you will be having these many applications running in your computer. So application programs define the ways in which the system resources are used to solve the computing problems of the user. That means, suppose both the users, two users, somebody is using the C programming, somebody is executing your Oracle query. So both are working in the same machine. Both can be used in a different windows. Right? I can simply, I can say, I can listen to songs and I can type something. So multi-programming is done in the similar time. Right? So next is the users. Who are the users? Users can be different people, machines, right? And other computers. A computer can be connected to any other computer. Like if you know the use of TeamViewer is like it just controls your computer. That means I can give an access to other computer. That person can access my computer without I mean by sitting at some other location. It can be other country also. So other computers can be accessing. That means more than one program will be accessing. More than one user can access our computer. So this is our computing environment. So coming to the next, different types of computing environments, what it can be. So as I've discussed, computers are everywhere. Computers are everywhere. It will be from the basic mobile, that means the applications which we use. The same way, we are using at a simple grocery store to a biggest application like our scientific applications. Okay, so different types of computers. So different types of operating system. The basic example I can give you is the Windows and Android. Windows is an operating system which we use for our computers or laptops, whereas Android is an operating system which we use for our mobile applications. Okay, normal phones we use an Android, whereas iOS is used for Apple phones. Different types of operating system, and we have different versions for Android also. Okay, so let us see each separately. Traditional computing, so it's just a computing, it's just what we are doing now. So it is not purposefully for anything, so we just use it for our normal very normal general applications, so that we can have simple typing a letter, or getting any printout, or watching any videos or multimedia content. So for a normal usage, what we use is a traditional computing. So here we don't have any connections, we don't have any internet, we just use it for our simple purposes. That is called as traditional computing environment. The next is the mobile. So mobile, as we are all having in our hands, that is an Android system or an iOS system which we are all using it. Okay, so what is the mobile is doing? What is the mobile is doing? It is providing a different applications for different purposes. Different applications for different purposes. So mobile makes us see the world in our hands. So multi-programming is also possible in our mobile applications, right? Next is the distributed computing. Distributed computing, it distributes the CPU, it distributes the memory into different computers. So it is decentralized system, so that resources and the computing environments, I mean the resources are distributed among different machines. Okay, next is the client server computing. The best example for client server computing is our Gmail. Our Gmail is our best computing application. Okay, so I mean client server computing. So what is it meaning? Different clients can connect to a server. Who are the different clients? We are all the users who are all connected to a Gmail server. So that is called client server computing. Next is peer-to-peer network. It is like our intranet services. Intranet, in a single environment, different computers. That means a single organization, peer-to-peer network. All the machines are connected together. Okay, next is virtualization. Virtualization is like an imaginary cloud computing comes here. Here we don't have physically the memory allocated, but we can use the memory as if the memory is available. And the another one is cloud computing, which is a trending concept now in computer science. So cloud is the biggest storage area where we can store a big number of elements, like all the files, all the text, all the images, and everything can be stored in the cloud. And real-time embedded systems, which is like our machines, robots. Robot meaning, I mean, robot. What do the robot do? It works like a human. In the recent days, the COVID patients are also treated with, I mean, they are served with robots. In Tamil Nadu, they used the robots for serving the COVID patients. So it is also a software. We feed the computer to do this. So this is one kind of environment. Okay. Next important functions is so next we'll discuss the important functions which are provided with operating system. So the first and foremost functionality of operating system is memory management. So it has to manage a better memory. That means the deallocation of the memory must be done. Otherwise, the memory will be blocking. I mean, it will be busy all the time, so that the next process cannot take chance to store into the memory. So it has to be very alert, so that every process must be served in an efficient way. So that is the basic and foremost important functionality of operating system. Right? Next is the processor management. So processor is the heart. We learn it from the basic school days. CPU is the heart of our computer. So our main motive is our CPU should be active all the time. It should not be idle. That means if one process is not required the CPU time, so the operating system has to be alert that it has to, I mean, the operating system has to tell the other computer, I mean, other process, that as the CPU is free, you can go and work on it. So the multi-programming, the concurrent programming, or the parallel programming, meaning is that. So here, at a time, if one process is busy with input-output devices or doing some other work, or waiting with another processes, that means waiting for other resources, the second process can occupy the processor, and with that, our CPU will be busy all the time. So the basic feature, I mean, the basic idea behind this, the CPU should not be idle at any time, because the processor is very much needed for every process. Our CPU should be busy all the time. That is our main motive, right? Next is the device management, which we talked already, computer hardware. So the operating system has to check that any process should not be blocked. I mean, any process should not be waiting condition. It should not be in waiting condition for any of the resources. It has to monitor all the resources will be served to all the processes at a time. As we have seen, there are n number of users and working with n number of application programs. So the OS has to take care that it should be served to everybody. Next, file management. As our computer is a collection of different kinds of information. We store text, we store files, we store everything, images, and many more. So everything must be managed, because that is nothing but the storage. When and where, if we want to access any of the information, it has to take care of everything. So the file management, the folders of files and everything must be managed. Storage, which is nothing but the storage. And finally, the security. Security also must be provided by operating system. The data should not be lost. Job accounting. Job accounting is nothing but how many processes are coming in and how many processes are completing its work, and how many processes are in deadlock condition. So everything must be taken care by operating system. Next is control over system performance, as it has to take care of all the information, as our CPU work, our keyboard work, our printer work. So it is monitoring everybody. So it has the control over system performance. Whenever our CPU is busy with all the time, that means our processes are completing very fastly. In other side, if we see, if we don't have any um, uh, uh, any resource, that means if I am waiting for any input, if that is blocked by any other process, so our system performance will be reduced. Next is error detecting aids. Operating system has many troubleshooters. You can see in your computer, you'll be finding your troubleshooters for your drivers, for your softwares, and many other things. So it provides troubleshooter. Troubleshooter is nothing but which recollects, which resets your softwares, and coordination between other softwares and users. Okay. Next. So we'll just see each and everything in detail. Main memory management, keep track of which parts of memory are currently being used and by whom. So operating system will see, it will have a track of which parts of memory. That means which part of the memory is currently being used and by whom, who is using it. Decides which processes to load when memory space becomes available. So it checks the priority. It checks the priority and tells that this space is free in the memory and you can occupy this. Allocate and deallocate memory space as needed. So according to the priority, it allocates and deallocates the memory according to the priority. So next, secondary storage management. You know the difference between main memory and secondary memory. Okay, so modern computer system use disk as the online storage medium for both programs and data. Okay, everything will be an input to the computer. In connection with the disk management, disk is nothing but our secondary storage management. Secondary storage device. OS is responsible for free space management. So it takes care of who will be allotted the required information and storage allocation, disk scheduling. Okay, this is all the responsibilities of operating system. We will be learning the scheduling in next classes. So process management. So process is nothing but a program, a part of the program is called a process. So operating system is responsible for process creation and deletion, when to start and when to stop. Okay, and process suspension and resumption. It is the new one. Suspension is nothing but if the process is waiting for any of the resource, so it has to be suspended for some time because it has to wait. Because when process 1 is busy with CPU, process 2 must wait for the CPU to be released by process 1. And resumption is nothing but whenever the resource is available, the process which is idle up to that time will be resuming its execution. Next, provision of mechanism for process synchronization and process communication. Processes will be communicating to each other from one process to another process with message passing. And processes must be synchronized. That means they must be coordinated to each other. So next is the device management, which is nothing but our hardware devices. Okay, so an operating system manages device communication via their respective drivers. It does the following activities for device management. So keep tracks of all devices, who is busy, who is not busy. So the program responsible for this task is known as IO controller. So OS is having another supporter, which is nothing but an IO controller. So this IO controller is responsible for keeping track of where the machine is busy and where the devices are busy and where the devices are sitting idle. Decides which process gets the device when and for how much time. Okay, so which process gets next to the device and allocates the device in the most efficient way depending on the priority, who requires most, and deallocates the device. Okay. Next is the file management. A file system is normally organized into directories for ease in navigation and usage. This we can see, that is our folders and files. So it organizes the files, keeps track of information, location, users, status, etc. You can see in your phones also how many times you have used your applications, how much time you have used it. These are all the information will be tracking by your operating system. These many times some applications me phone lo vastundi, some applications are not used for this many days, recently used. So this is all keeps track of this. This is all the duties of operating system. So the collective facilities are often known as file system. Decides who gets the resources, allocates and deallocates the resources. So other important activities: security by means of password and similar other techniques. మనం ఎప్పుడైతే ల్యాప్టాప్ కానీ కంప్యూటర్ కానీ ఆన్ చేస్తామో అక్కడ మనం ఒక పాస్వర్డ్ పెట్టేసుకోవచ్చు, so that we can hide the information which we have in our personal computers. It prevents unauthorized access to programs and data. That means nobody else can access our information. Okay, so control over system performance, recording delays between request for a service and response from the system. Actually ikkada correct ga sentence raayaledu kani the meaning is it records the delays between request and response. The meaning of request is starting of the information. That means when you open the file and for any service and the response from the system. So the delay indicates the performance is reduced. So always the delay must be very less. That indicates your system is very active. Okay. And next, job accounting, keeping track of time and resources used by various jobs and users. All the jobs are nothing but the processes and the users, who is coming in, who is going out, who are using what. So it counts, account is maintained at operating system. So last and finally, error detecting aids. So production of dumps, traces, error messages, and other debugging and error detecting aids. Simple example I can tell you here. Don't get confused. If unknowingly you want to delete anything, it tells that this is your file, whether you want to save or not. So it tells there is an error. So who is taking care of that? Suppose if you want to do some changes in your file, and if you have not saved it, and if you go for close, so there will be a dialog box appearing on your screen and telling you that whether you want to make changes permanently. Either you can go for save or cancel. So some errors, so dumps, traces. So it traces ఏం చేస్తున్నారు అని trace చేస్తూ ఉంటుంది. So it checks what you are doing it. Okay, so this is all the responsibilities of our operating system, and coordination between other softwares and users. So coordination and assignment of compilers, interpreters, assemblers, and other software to the various users. That means it means a coordination between softwares and users. So additional operating system functions: resource allocation, which is nothing but a device allocation. Okay, and accounting, job accounting, and protection, which is nothing but our security. Okay, so this is all for the first topic of our operating system. So we'll meet in the next lessons. Hope you all have understood the concept. So this is the basic of our operating system. Thank you very much.